Hi everyone, welcome back. So today we'll be learning about class and file handling and inheritance. Basically, class is one of the basic component of object-oriented programming. All of the object-oriented programming languages have class as the basis for the object-oriented programming. Python is also an object-oriented programming, as I already told in my earlier videos. So today we'll be learning about what is a class and how we do simple file handling and what is inheritance. So before we begin with the practical, let's see what actually a class looks like. Here, a class is a container which can have variables which are called attributes and can have methods which are similar to our functions that we have learned, and all these attributes and method inside the class are consists of namespace. Over here, personal info is the class, and inside this class we have p underscore id, p underscore name, p underscore contact, p underscore sex, p underscore dov as variables which are called attributes, and add underscore common which is a method. So now once we define this particular class, after that we can take this class info, personal info, as an object and define its blueprints. That means we can define variable like personal info, and which will contain all these variables plus the methods inside it, and we can use it wherever we want in our whole program. The other thing we are going to learn today is inheritance, which is also one of the basics of class. What inheritance means: you have a parent class and you have child class that takes the information of the parent class as well as has its own info in its own variables or attributes and methods or its own namespace. Like student info is a child class and its parent class is personal info, so it will have all this namespace as well as its own namespace here. So similarly, teacher info. So what it means is you define all the common attributes and methods in a parent class, and you define other child classes which inherits the properties from the parent class and will have its own properties also, its own attributes and methods. So this is what is inheritance. So we'll be learning all this in practical today. So let's begin with a simple class. How to write a simple class in Python. The Python class definition starts with the keyword class and the name of the class followed by colon. So here common info is your class. So common info is a class here. The keyword is class. Then following it, whatever string you have within double quotes is called a doc string, which can be used to put some comments or put some description information about the class, and it can be accessed after you declare instances of this class. We'll be seeing it later on. Here person underscore cnt is the variable which is available in all instances. This one we'll be seeing it later. Here This is very important. The init method Unlike other programming languages about class, in Python you need to have the init method, which is in which you need to pass the object itself, the class itself, as a parameter and any other parameters you want to pass, and this is called the constructor. So constructor is nothing, it is just the method which is executed by itself as soon as you define the instance of the class. So that means if you define a declare a variable of class info, this gets executed by itself, and these are the values which are passed into when you declare the declare the instance of class. So we'll be seeing that later. Here I am saying self.p_id, which means a variable p_id inside this class and assign p_id, which has been passed into the constructor. Similarly, p_name, self.p_name, I'm passing the value of p_name, and here inside common info I have the person_cnt, which increases by 1 when you declare when the constructor is executed. So let's open this one also. I'm uncommenting this one also. Here now I'm defining a method, declaring a method inside the class. So this is similar to writing a function. So if you want to access the variables of what or the attributes of the class you have defined, you need to pass the self as a parameter to the function or method you want to pass the attributes. Here you can see self has PID, p_name, p_contact, p_sex and p_dov. So inside this method is similar to writing the methods functions. Here I am printing the ID, the contact, the sex and dov. So this is the class definition. Now declaring the instance of a class. This is how you declare the instance of the class. Here p1 is a variable, or it will be the instance of the class, and common info is your class, and these are the values you are passing. See, p1 is the instance or object of the class info, common info. Now this particular values are passed here to the constructor. So 0001 goes to p_id, Sushi Gook goes to p_name, 99999 goes to p_contact, mail goes to p_sex, and p_dov goes July goes to p_dov. So after that, this p1 will have all these variables plus this variable and this as the doc string. Now after I declare the instance, of common info, I can execute the methods or access the values, variables or attributes in common info using p1. So this common info is a method inside common info. So p1 has it, so I'm displaying it here, executing it here. Then I'm printing the name of the person as p1.p_name, because p1 now has all those variables, attributes of common info. And here I said the doc string here is accessed by using the class name __doc__. So total number of person p1 dot person underscore cnt, which is the global variable. This is called a global variable. We'll learn about it later on. So now let me execute this one. Okay, so I'm executing this one. Here you go. Okay, this common info is being executed here, and person name is Susigo, which is correct, and common data entry, this is the one, and total person 1. If we execute this again with a different name, let's say Suman, let's see what happens. This is what I wanted to show. Your person underscore cnt has increased by 1. So this is how we use the global variable. We'll be learning more about it in the near future. In more realistic of this programming, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to accept PID, P underscore name, P underscore contact, P underscore sex, P underscore DOV, and declare an instance of common info by passing those values, and it will automatically, that means you are accepting input from the user and taking those values into the passing those values into the class. So every time you can have a different values. Here, let's run it. Let's see C0001, let's say Sunitha, let's say 99999, let's say female, let's say AUGST August. Here you go, C001 Sunitha, 999 female, August, and the total person count is 3. So this is how it works. So it looks a little more realistic because every time you execute, you can give a different information. Now, the earlier I told you, we'll be learning about how to do file handling. So here a simple program to open a file and print the name of the file, and here to write something into the file, and this is to close the file, and this is to open the file, and this is to read the file. Data file dot read lines will read the lines of the file. So let's see what happens in this case. Data file dot txt, so it will be in the current path. So let's execute. Here you see name of the file is data file dot txt, and it has added serial number, this one, name, 1 banana, and then 2 mangoes. So here I added these 2 information. I close the file, then I open the file here by using open. I again open the file here in read mode. This is the mode you want to open the file in. So if you want to open the file, you can open the file in W mode, W plus mode, R mode, or R plus mode. So here R means read only, A plus means you can read, write, and access it. So this is the information how you do. You just need to say open data file is equals to open data file. This is a variable, and use the open function, inbuilt function, to open the name of the data file, and then you need to provide the mode, data file name, and the mode, and print. You can have this data file will have variables like name. There are many other variables, and inside the data file, if you say data file dot write, you'll be able to write information inside the data file. So, and data file dot close will close the file. So this is how it happens. So if you see here, you will see there is a here sorry, the path, it will be in the path, but I'll show that to you later. Over here, let's learn about what is inheritance. In this, I'm just defining a class which is personal info. This personal info, I'll try to include all those attributes for personal information, and I will include all those. I'll include a method to accept the variable values for the attributes, and I'll open the file and write data into it. So this is how it is going to work. This main class. So I'll just compile it. Here I'm just declaring the class, and this is, as I already said, we need the init, the constructor, and I'm defining a personal info method here which has all this information, and I'm defining a child class here, student info. Okay, this student info, inside the bracket I'm saying personal info, which means student info will inherit all these variables, attributes, and all these methods inside the personal info class. So personal info is the parent class, student info is the child class. Now this is the doc string, which we can use by saying student info dot underscore underscore doc underscore underscore student info. Yeah, so this is the initialization. I'm passing s underscore id, s underscore class, and s underscore guardian, and I'm initializing the values here, and record student info. So what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to record the student info here, and I'm going to open a file here, student info record.csv, and I'm going to write this information, and then I'm going to close the file. And here also I'm printing the information. So let me first okay, I don't have the CSV files here, so I need to show where is it. So let's first execute this. Okay, before that let me show where it is. Seems like it's in my C drive. Users. Yeah, this is the file that we created earlier on, datafile.txt, and here I have two files, personal info underscore record.csv and this one. So I just want to remove them so that like we'll see that it has been created. Now let's run our program. So I'm going to, here I'm instantiating an instance of class. Here I'm accepting three values, and I'm instantiating a child class S1, instantiating an instance of S1, student info as S1. Now S1, I'm passing these values which is going into the constructor, and then it is being assigned to these variables. Now here I'm executing record personal info and record underscore student underscore info from the child class. Now this actually is from the parent class, but our child class don't have it. But how is it able to get it? Because here I am telling it to inherit whatever personal info the parent class has into the student info class. So student info also has record personal info. So let's execute this one and see what happens. Student ID 1, student class 8, guardian Sunita. Sorry, there is an error, has not been defined. Oh sorry, yeah, this is the one. I need to first execute these two. Yeah, then I execute this one. Sorry, I did not execute this particular cell. So now I have executed them. Let's begin again. 1, student class 8, TS Sunita. Yeah, personal ID, let's say 1. Let's say enter name, good. Let's say enter contact 999999, 6, male, and July. Okay, so this is the information, personal ID and all this, which is from the parent class, from the personal info, record personal info method in parent class, and this is from the child class. So total number is 21. Now we need to check whether these two files have been created or not. This file and this file. Okay, so let's see it. Here you go, student info and personal info, both have been created, and it's created today. See, so it should have the information, personal information here. Let's see, it's the CSV file, so it will open in Excel. Here you go, 1 Susigo 999 male July, and student info should have 1-8 Sunita. So this is the student ID class, and this is the guardian we accepted. So this is how it works. So this is all about what we are going to learn today in class, and in the next video we'll be learning about more about class, so class decorators, as well as like we'll be learning more real life about class. So thank you very much for watching this video. See you in the next video. Thank you very much.